The first thing we need to do is start scavenging the house for our household materials to build our launcher. So these are going to be things like paper towel rolls, toilet paper rolls, we can grab some elastics, let's grab pencils, and then some tape. It could be duct tape, masking tape, or even scotch tape, scissors, and then get some projectile cotton balls. Or find some cool projectiles. Or maybe some sweet projectiles. And then find that drawer of doodads that I know exists in all our households of stuff we just don't want to throw away. We can use that to decorate and just make our launcher look really epic. Now that you have all your materials for the launcher, it's time to get building. So the first thing we need to do is decide how big is the shaft and the chamber going to be on our launcher. The shaft is going to be the long part that shoots your projectile. The chamber is going to be the part that goes inside the shaft to launch. But it's actually not what you have that's going to dictate how big the shaft should be. It should be the elastics. So the elastics need to stretch from the top all the way to the bottom and past the bottom. So if I look at this paper towel roll, that elastic does not go past the bottom, so I'm not going to use that one. Here's a paper towel roll that I cut. So the elastic would go up top, and if I go past, I can stretch that further, and that's good. I think that's the one I'm going to use. This is going to be my shaft, and I'm going to use this small one as a chamber. The chamber is going to go inside, and that's what holds our projectile. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors. Watch your fingers, please. You're going to go, and you're simply going to cut it right down in a line. Then all you have to do is take it, you're just going to fold it over a little bit. All right, just enough so it will fit inside the shaft, and this chamber will be ready to go. Then I'll just take whatever tape I have. I've got some duct tape, so I'll just use that. I'm going to tape that just like so. And then let's test it real quick. So I can take the chamber, drop it in here, and if it falls out, that's going to be perfect to go. So now we're going to work on the chamber. We're going to have something on here for the elastic to attach to when we pull the chamber back. So you could use scissors, but you know what? I honestly use my trusty old pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a hole through the end of my paper towel roll tube. Be sure when you're putting the hole in that you don't poke your hand or fingers. Here's the biggest thing. You want it to come right across so it's nice and equal on the other side. So if you can just drive it through all the way, just like that. And now you can see my pencils in here, and that's what my elastic is going to attach to. Doesn't matter too much what the size of your pencil is, as long as the elastics can go around it like so. So let's move that out of the way, and let's go back to the long part of our launcher now. So we need something to attach the elastics to. For this one, we're going to attach it to the top, but there's nothing there. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to take our scissors and we're going to put a little slit in there, about 1 to 2 centimeters across. But here's the thing. We're going to have to make that same slit on the exact opposite side. So you could either get a ruler here, or if you're pretty good at eyeballing, you can go in and you can cut the exact same dimension on the other side. So there I kind of have both slits on either side. This is where you're going to attach your elastics. So I'm going to put my elastic in there, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to fold this back up, and I'm going to tape so that elastic stays right in there, and that's going to give it some support right in those holes there. So you're going to take your tape. What I suggest you do is first pull back the elastic gently, and I'm going to do a little tape piece right over where those cuts are, and I'm going to go over and down first and kind of push it in there. And then I'm going to take another piece of tape, and I'm going to go over the edge like this. The more support you can give the elastic, the better. And we'll just fold this in. That's going to give it lots of snaps. You can just test it. Perfect. And then you're going to do that to the other side as well. So again, you're just going to take your elastic, put it on the cut that you made, pull it down a bit, but then you're going to tape over top of both those cuts, push it in, and then grab the second one, put over top, a little extra support, and just push that in like that. So we got two sides that are ready to launch. So next we're going to load up our chamber. Now if we bring our chamber back, we're going to be using cotton balls initially, where they just kind of sit on that and they fit on there well. But if you want to adapt your launcher, let's say to launch, I don't know, a Daredevil, then we want to make sure that he doesn't just fall in there. So what we're going to do is, you could either cut a piece of cardboard, but let's just find something that can go on top, but still fits directly on the chamber, so it can go through the shaft when it launches, and we're just going to tape that on there. That's just going to give a nice little base for whatever it is you want to set on there for your projectile. There we go, and so now you can pretty much launch whatever you want for your chamber. So the next part is very simple. You're going to take the shaft of your launcher with the chamber and you're going to slide it in there. Then you're just going to take the elastic. You might want to do this 2 at a time just to make sure it's nice and even. If you need helping hands, get helping hands. But you're going to string that elastic around the pencil. So that chamber is now tight in there. So if I put a projectile in here now, so there you can see with the chamber in there, it just kind of holds things a little bit better there. It's going to give a nice push action too when you cock back the chamber. And so all you're going to do now is you're going to grab it from the base, pull it down, make sure your ammo is loaded, and simply you're going to launch. Let's talk about the science behind this project. We dealt with 2 different types of energy, potential energy and kinetic energy. The easy way to describe the potential energy is that's energy that's stored or built up that's kind of in reserve for use. Kinetic energy is when that thing is actually in motion or it's moving energy. So for our launcher here, the potential energy is the energy as you pull it back and it's stored. So if I pull it back a little bit, there's some potential energy, but if I pull it back further, that's giving it more and more potential energy. When I snap it and release it, the energy is transferred into whatever it is the projectile is, and that's the kinetic energy. Now remember, this is just the concept of the design. You don't have to actually make this. I'd love to see what happens if you added longer chambers, longer shafts. What happens if you have different types of ammo, heavier ammo, longer ammo? What happens if you get elastics that are lighter or heavier elastics or bungee cords? This is just the concept, but true making is designing your own version of this, just using the basic concepts of what you've learned here. Happy making and STEM at home, and I hope you learned something really new today.